guys, welcome to the coaching room IELTS. So in this video, I'm going to discuss about IELTS speaking. आज हम डिस्कस करेंगे कि IELTS की स्पीकिंग का फॉर्मेट क्या होता है. Alright, and we will also discuss the cue card which has recently appeared in IELTS speaking. That is the real exam in which this cue card have appeared, and this is one of the predicted cue card, right? जो मई से सितंबर की लिस्ट चल रही है उसमें ये सबसे पहला क्यू कार्ड है विच आई एम गोइंग टू डिस्कस विद यू with the help of a spider diagram. Generally students remain in dilemma or confusion कि spider diagram draw कैसे करना है, what can be the points, how to draw that, what kind of vocabulary they can use to get 7+ bands, right? Because everybody does have a dream कि वो अगर आइल्स में एस कर रहे हैं, आइल्स को क्रैक कर रहे हैं, तो वो एक अच्छी बैंड स्कोर के साथ करें, राइट? सो आई हैव मेड दिस विद द हेल्प ऑफ लाइक सर्टेन वर्ड्स जो आपके आइल्स की स्पीकिंग के पैरामीटर्स के अकॉर्डिंग important भी हैं, and that will surely give you 7+ bands if you are preparing this and if you are framing this with the relevancy of considering all the parameters, right? So चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं. तो सबसे पहले आइल्स की जो स्पीकिंग होती है, ठीक है, इट इज़ वन ऑफ द स्किल. चलिए मैं आपको थोड़ा ओवरव्यू दे देती हूँ कि आइल्स एग्ज़ाम होता क्या है. IELTS is generally appeared by every like student who is willing to go abroad, right? Whether for study purpose or whether for work or like PR related purposes, right? तो उसमें होता ये है कि आपके 4 मॉड्यूल्स रहते हैं. जनरली वो स्किल्स होते हैं या कंपोनेंट्स होते हैं. वी डोंट एड्रेस देम एज एन मॉड्यूल्स, बट मोस्ट ऑफ द इंस्टीट्यूट्स एंड स्टूडेंट्स हैव स्टार्टेड सेइंग सो. सो ज़्यादातर लोगों को यही पता है कि आज के 4 मॉड्यूल्स होते हैं, बट एक्चुअल में दोज आर कॉल्ड कंपोनेंट्स और स्किल्स, राइट? सो IELTS स्पीकिंग इज वन ऑफ द पार्ट आउट ऑफ दोज 4. सबसे पहला जो होता है that is IELTS writing, IELTS reading and IELTS listening, right? So I'll be making separate videos for that, alright? But today we are going to discuss IELTS speaking, fine? So in IELTS speaking आपको राउंड 3 जो होते हैं IELTS speaking के, उसमें क्वेश्चंस जो आपसे किए जाते हैं आपको उसमें आपके आंसर्स जो हैं वो रहते हैं, राइट? सो IELTS स्पीकिंग में बेसिकली 11 to 14 मिनट्स का एक राउंड होता है आपके साथ. दैट इज़ अ प्री सेट राउंड, फाइन. सो इसमें जनरली होता ये है कि 3 राउंड्स रहते हैं. 11 से 14 मिनट्स तक का रफली अगर मैं कहूँ तो ये 15 से 20 मिनट्स का आपका टास्क होता है. वाइंडिंग अप राइट फ्रॉम चेकिंग द ID, टेलिंग द एग्जामिनर, राइट? एग्जामिनर विल बी इंट्रोड्यूसिंग यू, ओके? तो ये सारी चीज़ें इसमें इंक्लूड करके आपका अप्रॉक्स 20 मिनट्स का ये टास्क रहता है, ऑलराइट? इसमें होता ये है कि जो राउंड 1 होता है, फाइन, और राउंड 2 और राउंड 3, दीज 3 आर द राउंड्स. राउंड 1 जनरली जैसे आप कभी किसी इंटरव्यू में गए होंगे, कभी किसी जॉब के लिए आपने अप्लाई करा होगा, राइट? एंड ऑल्सो समटाइम while giving the speech, while giving any kind of presentation, introducing yourself in the class in front of audience, right? तो जो आपकी नॉर्मल इंट्रोडक्शन रहती है वो IELTS में एक थोड़े पैटर्न के साथ, एक फॉर्मेट के साथ इसको बनाया गया है, जिसमें आपसे जनरली क्वेश्चनिंग जो है वो आपके फुल नेम से स्टार्ट होती है. देन योर ID इज चेक्ड, राइट? आफ्टर दैट फ्यू क्वेश्चंस कैन बी आस्क्ड रिगार्डिंग योर होम टाउन. The topics can be different because we have a vast list for that, fine? So there are many topics which are covered in round 1. It is just to make you comfortable. तो round 1 जो रहता है उसमें बहुत सारे topics होते हैं. They can ask you about likes and dislikes. There can be certain other topics as well which will be explicitly sharing your personal opinion. So round 1 is generally easier, like than other rounds if I talk about. So that is too easier, fine? If you are confident enough, plus you do have that good skills in you, right? You can easily ace that, fine. You just have to, you know, have that skills with you with a lot of practice, of course, that is demanded. But it's not that, you know, daunting task that you can't do it, fine. Apart from that, in round 1 besides your introduction, like where are you from, what kind of things you like, what is your opinion about this, right? And that such questions comprises the different topics. As I told, they can ask you regarding like ice creams. Do you like ice creams? Why do you like ice creams? When did you last have that? So such kind of normal questions are there. So the examiner will make you feel comfortable, right? Because these are the ideas which you generally do, right? So these are the tasks which you generally do in your daily life, right? Or sometime you do that, or sometime if you haven't done that, so you have to be imaginative there, right? So you should have that imaginary skills as well while addressing these answers. Apart from that, moving ahead to the task number 2, that is the round 2. Okay, that is called cue card. So what is a cue card? Cue card itself states its meaning. Cue card में होता है कि आपको hints मिलते हैं, ठीक है? There are certain hints. I haven't jotted down over here. I have written down the topic only. All right. So I'll be sharing my Telegram link over there, right? And you can also check from my Instagram channel. I have updated there the latest cue cards. So you can check from that, or any other official website you can also refer to. So this is the very first cue card, right? Long car journey you went to. Such kind of topics are assigned to you, all right, in which you have to analyze what kind of tense is there in the task. So उसके basis पे आपको 1 minute की preparation लेनी होती है. That is compulsory. Like 1 minute you will be given. Fine. तो वो आपकी planning के लिए होता है. Now students generally do what? They just read the cue card and just leave it on the table, right? And they do not take much initiative to prepare the notes. But I feel you should do that. Why so? Because see, if you have prepared the cue card in advance, right? You have look up to the main points, and then you are labeling that. Even if you are creating a mind map, spider diagram, that's quite okay. Mind map is generally you are preparing, you are just brainstorming, and you are thinking about the ideas. That is called mind mapping. Spider diagram is this which I have drawn on the board. You can take reference of that. I'll be dictating, and I'll be discussing how to use these words and how to frame the particular cue card. I'll come up to that. So coming up to this thing, the parameters and the time which you are assigned. 1 minute you will be getting preparation, right? For preparation you can make mind map or spider diagram, as I said earlier. Moving ahead, for 2 minutes you have to show your fluency. So that is the individual term. In that you need to speak just your own ideas. It's not like that you have to speak continuously without a natural pause. We are humans. It should not be like that it is memorized. Okay, ऐसा नहीं है कि आप उसको लगातार बोले ही जा रहे हो जिसमें मतलब आपका कोई माइनर या कोई नेचुरल पोज. वी आर ह्यूमन. इट शुड बी लाइक एन इंटरेस्टिंग टॉक. Okay, it should not be like a public, or you are just delivering a speech. It should be expressive enough. You should indulge the examiner. Okay, you should indulge the interviewer in your talk. All right, how you can do it? You should play with your facial expressions and gestures. If you're talking about a journey, as I have displayed over here, right? So a car journey you went to. Everybody likes, I think, journey, right? And the car journey always been mesmerizing for the people, right? So the happiest expression should come on your face while talking about that. Gestures are really important when you are delivering the speech, especially in cue card. All right, so we'll be very very alert about that. Now coming up to the necessary parameters. Generally, people have a confusion, or sometimes they do not have much clarity, like how we are assessed, how the examiner give us band score, what are the certain parameters that are designed, okay, to give you a good band score, or whatever as per your speech, because you would be getting, you know, whatever you have delivered on the basis of that, because the examiner would not be having any kind of personal grudge with you, right? So it is your task, whatever you would be delivering and whatever you would be conveying in a good way, in a natural talk, right? As much as comfortable you will feel, it will impress the examiner. Okay, so coming up to the parameters, the first one is body language. If we say that the personality of the person is alluring and उसकी personality बहुत अच्छी है, the way she enters or he enters is just amazing, right? So body language होता है कि जब आप कहीं पे जा रहे हो या कहीं से enter कर रहे हो, right? तो वो आपकी body language में confident दिखना चाहिए, ठीक है? आप confident होने चाहिए, confidence दिखना चाहिए when you are entering the examination hall, right? Especially it is in a kind of cabin where you have to take permission to get in. So you should be in a nice position. So that is the body language, you know, throughout the speaking that is assessed. How you are sitting over there, right? And what kind of gestures you are making. So excess of hand movements are not allowed. Avoid that. Body language is considered. Apart from that, considering the pronunciation, grammar, lexical resources, ideas fluency, and repetition. Okay, let's come up to the very first. That is the pronunciation. Because body language is just considered. It is not out of those four parameters out of which you are given bands, right? So pronunciation जो होती है, words का pronunciation कैसा है? अब जो इंडियंस हैं उनका न्यूट्रली रहता है unless until they can speak a very good English accent, right? So you do not have to utter any fake accent. You can just keep it neutral. अननेसेसरी हम उस चीज़ को कॉम्प्लिकेट नहीं करेंगे, क्योंकि होता ये है कि जो एक्सेंट आप स्टार्टिंग से रख रहे हो वो अगर आप थ्रू आउट तक फॉलो कर सकते हो टिल द एग्जीक्यूशन ऑफ द क्यू कार्ड और इवन इन राउंड 3, दैट इज द फॉलो अप क्वेश्चन, राइट? सो वही चीज़ आपकी जो है एनालाइज होती है. सो इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट योर प्रोनाउंसिएशन शुड बी अप टू द मार्क. सो प्रोनाउंसिएशन आप चाहे नेटिव रखो चाहे फॉरेन, आई मीन ब्रिटिश या अमेरिकन रखो, वो बहुत क्लियर कट होनी चाहिए और सही होनी चाहिए थ्रू आउट द क्यू कार्ड एग्जीक्यूशन एंड फॉलो अप्स एज वेल. सो ग्रामर जो है आपकी, अब इंग्लिश का टेस्ट है, ठीक है? तो ऑफ कोर्स ग्रामर तो इंड्यूबिटेबली इट्स अ वाइटल पार्ट, राइट? ग्रामर के बिना तो आप सेंटेंसेस नहीं बना पाओगे, रेलिवेंसी नहीं रहेगी उसमें. सो इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट that you would use grammatical range and accuracy. Fine, so it should be there. Next, coming up to this lexical resources. Now it sounds like a very heavy word. Of course it is, but its meaning is vocabulary. Whatever new words you are adding into it, fine, or whatever phrases and idioms you are using in your speaking, that should be used at a correct place. You should not use it at any wrong place. For example, if you are talking about happiness, so there are many phrases or like many idioms that you can use. You can use having a wheel of time, over the moon, on cloud nine, on seventh heaven, right? All these phrases represent happiness. So if we are using that on the correct place, only then you will be getting good balance. So lexical resources need to be fine. Coming up to this thing, ideas fluency, it is above all important. Of course, all other parameters are equally important, but we will not neglect that, because earlier I have said one thing, that you should be expressive enough. All right, it should not be like a constant and boring and monotonous speech. You should indulge your expressions into that. You should convince the examiner that yes, you are a natural or regular, like daily communicator of English. Okay, so for that, lexical resources and ideas fluency, of course we will be looking up to these two parameters. Repetition should not be there. Generally what happens, because we are not much aware about like the connectors that we use in our daily life, because we generally use and, right? You can also use some other connectors like as well as, but many people are not familiar with range of connectors. So I would suggest you that please prepare some connectors as well, right, to impress the examiner. You can use what is more, moreover, apart from this, besides this. Um, I'll make a separate video for that. What kind of like phrases and what kind of connectors can be used in linking the ideas, right? Because there is a range, there is a vast vocabulary for that too. I'll be making a separate video for that. Fine. So let's come up to the main task, right? Which is the soul of today's conversation. It is about a long car journey you went to, right? So this is the very first cue card, all right? And it is as well as important, all right? Because it has appeared in some recent, real speaking, okay? So we are going to discuss how to make a spider diagram. Well, it's a drawn, right? It's already drawn because I have to, mention all the points in my conversation that how you can utilize the starting sentence to, give a background. उसके अलावा आप क्या क्या इसमें पॉइंट्स ऐड कर सकते हो, कैसे कैसे लेक्सिकल रहेंगे, ग्रामेटिकली आपको कैसा रखना है. लेट्स डिस्कस दैट. सबसे पहले आपको करना क्या है, आपको जब क्यू कार्ड सपोज एग्जामिनर ने असाइन कर दिया, ऑलराइट, सो व्हाट इज आवर टास्क नाउ, वी हैव टू एनालाइज द टाइटल ऑफ द टास्क. इट्स अ car journey you went to, all right. So I have to analyze what is the verb over here. If I see, it is went, so it is clearly representing that the whole conversation should be in past. Why? Because question की demand यही है. जो क्यू कार्ड का हिंट है वो आपसे पूछ रहा है कि अ लॉन्ग कार जर्नी यू वेंट टू, कोई ऐसी कार जर्नी जहाँ पे आप गए हो. फाइन. तो वो आपका पास्ट में रहेगा बिकॉज वी हैव टू बी ग्रामेटिकली फाइन. अब जो आपका स्पाइडर डायग्राम होता है उसको, इट इज नॉट कंपल्सरी कि आपको इसी वे से ड्रॉ करना है. ऑफ कोर्स यू कैन जोट डाउन द simple points as well, but I feel it is far convenient because spider diagram is defined in this way only, right? If you want to make roughly points, that is up to you. If you want to make sub headings like key points, that is up to you because everybody does have his or her own strategy, right? But you should utilize that 1 minute. So starting with the very first line, it is traveling and trips trivia has always caught my attention. All right. So this is the very first line that you can use. And also here I want to, highlight one thing. Please do not use such lines that thank you for giving me an opportunity that I have, got this cue card, or well, I have been to many journeys, right? So here I would like to talk about the journey because there is a huge crowd that is interested in going abroad, and of course for that they have to qualify IELTS. They have to crack IELTS exam for that, right? So when they prepare the cue cards, they use the same kind of structure and sentences. So you should express yourself in a unique way. I would recommend you that you should try a different sentence. Please do not use such kind of words, right? Because it is used by very you can say huge crowd, and it's very common vocabulary. So traveling and trips trivia has always caught my attention. This is how you can address the cue card, right? Whatever the topic is, you need to introduce the main idea for that. Moving ahead, you can talk about the synonyms and you can also talk about your experiences, right? Because generally the cue cards comes up with such questions that what, when, why, or to some extent it can be related to with whom, where, right? So all the WH, right, are covered in that, right? 4 to 5 options can be there, 4 to 5 hints can be there. Generally whenever you would be preparing a cue card, you have to look up to, you have to think in that way that okay, what, when, why and how, these points should be covered in my cue card. So the very first line can be like this. Moving ahead, you can address like this that well, I am fortunate that I have been to numerous journeys. Here I'm describing you a beautiful boulevard. Boulevard. Boulevard is basically a road which has a lot of trees around it. Okay, so if I see, it's more like a green belt. It is surrounded by the trees, right? You can talk about that. It's a beautiful boulevard which gave me an exuberant vibe. Exuberant vibe means आपको बहुत अच्छा लगा वहां पे जाके, राइट? जैसे हम बोलते हैं कि मेरे को वाइब आ गई या मुझे बहुत अच्छा फील हुआ, राइट? So that you can use over here. Moving ahead, you can explain in this way that, well, I still remember, or the memory still continues to bring, okay, as the best memory so far I have made in my life. Well, it was a random plan or an unplanned trip, which turned out the best ones. As it is generally said that random trips are the best ones, or unplanned trips are the best, which turn out of all, right? Then you can mention we exogitate a plan for a long trip. You can say, well, we all have accomplished. You can talk about your classmates, or you can talk about your family members that you have fulfilled a really demanded task, right? After that, you exogitate a plan. Exogitate a plan means you have made up a plan for a long trip. Okay, then you would be moving to next lines. Here you can see you had much fun and frolics. Fine. So how you can explain that? You can add what kind of destinations you had explored on the way. You can say over here, of course, it's a long car journey, so we will not be adding a lot more activities into that because you would be sitting in a car, right? So you have to talk about that. So you can say, well, I had much fun and frolics, and we really enjoyed the playlist of our favorite music. We recalled our childhood time. We generally, used to listen some kind of songs, right, which were funny, or which were from our favorite cartoon series, right? So we recall those memories, and we had all the playlist of that songs. Or either you can say that you played antakshari, like you played some music games, right? And such kind of things you could add over there. You can even talk about that you clicked some pictures or photographs. There were some scenic beauty at in different destinations where you stopped your car to have kind of refreshment, or to like feed yourself, to eat something, right? You can talk about that. Moving ahead, you can talk about here. If I see, I have written down here this long part, right? So here you need to express that we stopped at several destination points and reminiscing about memories, right? Reminiscing about memories is equal to कि आपने वहां पे बहुत सारी यादें बनाई. Okay, so वो आप बोल सकते हो. Fine. And then you can talk about, well, even today, if I have a glance on the pictures that are still saved in my gallery, right, I have a punch of nostalgia, right? इसका मतलब होता है कि यादों को जैसे ताज़ा कर देना, या आपको बहुत ज़्यादा immensely glad feel होना, तो वो आप ऐड कर सकते हो यहाँ पे. Moving ahead, all the soul of the cue card would be here in the last part, because if starting is important, ending is equally crucial, right? So here you would be talking about with whom do you went, right? And why did you recall that, and why did you consider it as the best journey, right? So here you can say, well, altogether 7 people went on this journey. Or you can say, like, if you are talking about a family trip, then you can add over here as per your wish, right? What family members or what count you want to describe over here. All together means sub ikathe, right? In total, you can also use. So people went over there, right? And we felt ecstatic. Ecstatic is equal to glad. Ecstatic बेसिकली खुशी के लिए यूज करा जाता है, तो आप इसको यूज कर सकते हो. इट इज kind of an adjective. As I introduced you that you will be, hoping to get 7 plus bands. So with the use of these, new words or lexical, you can reach up to that limit. The last part, which is equally important, you can say, well, I could relive the memories whenever I look up to the pictures that I have hanged on my walls because it was a memorable trip. So we have collected many memories in the form of pictures, and we even had, you can say, designed different kind of, you can say, portraits, right, to recall those memories. So whenever I want to, you know, recall the memories, relive means यादों का ताज़ा हो जाना, ठीक है, तो आप इसको accordingly use कर सकते हो. Fine. So here comes the ending of the cue card. All right. This is the beginning from here. This is the ending. So whenever you are making any spider diagram, make sure you start with a clockwise direction and you stop at anti-clockwise. Okay. This is important, right? So you can accordingly prepare this, but you have to add certain new words if you really want to score good, right? So for 7 plus bands, it is a simple, trick that you should try some new words. So this is all about this cue card. I hope it was comprehensible, right? And any suggestions are welcome. If you want me to explain different concepts of IELTS, you can accordingly request or accordingly DM me. I would definitely make videos. I would definitely try my hand in that, right? So I hope this was comprehensible. If you want to, jot down certain words, or you want to, make a record of that, so you can take a screenshot, or either you can just subscribe my channel, and also you can search us on Instagram page. We are there as well. You can search TCR IELTS, which is the coaching room IELTS, right? You can easily get the PDFs which are of latest listings, readings, and writings, right? Also the predictions on the Telegram channel, right? And on Instagram, we share our results, right, of our brilliant students, and of course, some important updates regarding the IELTS. Fine. So I hope you would be liking this video. All right. Stay tuned. Happy learning. Thank you.